Kelly called up one night and says, Dad, Jenna's bringing a boy home. And I said, oh, that's fine. But she really likes him. And I said, oh, that sounds impressive. She goes, Dad, he's got a really good job. So I said, find out what kind of beer that guy drinks. And she called back. She said, Daddy drinks fine scotch. That Budweiser tasted all right, didn't it, Matt? Matt said we made him feel so welcome when he came, but what he doesn't know, it was scripted from top to bottom. We wanted Matt in the family. Well, Jenna, what can I say? She's been a perfect daughter, and she's going to be a perfect wife for Matt. Looking out, I see a lot of young couples ready to start families, and I can only wish that you guys can have a daughter like Jenna. Jenna's been truly just a wonderful gift to our family. My wife Joanne has been telling the same story for 35 years, that they have royal blood in their family. My family, on the other hand, started with a young German guy that wanted to marry a farmer's daughter, and he got rejected, and so he burnt the man's barn down and decided to move to Watertown, South Dakota from Germany. Now, if Joanne's story is true, then that would make Jenna our princess. Matt, I hope by now you realize you just didn't marry Jenna. We come as a package in our family. The phone rings a lot at home, and it basically starts out, Dad, give me Mom. So we're going to know everything about you. Everything. I'd like to take the credit for raising the family, but I've been busy providing the income, and my wife Joanne truly does deserve all the credit. So Joanne, thank you for turning out such a fine family. But Matt, take a look at Joanne. That pretty smile, that nice soft demeanor, all 5 foot of her. I saw her take a guy out with one punch, knock him down, and start working on his ribs. So I'm laying there on the front porch at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm saying to myself, my God, woman, what's wrong with you? Well, the next day, she tells me that I called her Julie instead of Joanne. Well, Louis Fleischner there dragged me out that night. And I was a result of Joanne's tirade. But Matt, if you mistreat Jenna, I want you to know she can do a lot of damage in 30 seconds. Her big sister's an attorney, so she's going to pick up what's left of you, and we are going to sue you for everything you got or will have. We're German. A few years ago, I had a aortic valve go bad and diagnosed with aneurysm. And my heart was enlarging to the point where I had to have the surgery in a couple of days or else. So at home, the doctor tells me, get your financial house in order. So I'm telling Joanne, rent the farmland out, Look out for these barstool Romeos. But she's not listening. So I'm saying, now go to the accountant. He's got all the tax records. Go back a few years. Everything's going to be in there. So I said to her, Joanne, are you listening? And she said, no. On the far wall is a picture of all the kids. And she pointed towards that. And she said, that's the best investment you ever made. So Matt, it's all about family. Now, you come from a small family, but you're in a big one now. And this is one farmer that's awful proud that you married his daughter. Thank you.
Well, that's going to be tough to beat. Now, where do you want to go first? First, I want to really thank everyone who's made the trip. We have some friends, family that came from Wisconsin, friends, family from the Kraus family from South Dakota, people around Minneapolis area, St. Paul that made it here. I really want to thank everybody for coming. It's a lot of people put on a lot of miles. It really means a lot to both sides of the family for everyone to come, so I really appreciate it. I'm going to say something I'm probably going to regret, but I have to say that, you know, my wife Cindy is probably right. I'm going to say most of the time. She's going to probably say she's right all the time, but I can't give her that big a head. But she'd always said that, you know, Matthew's going to find that special person in his life. And once he's decided on a commitment, it's going to be a really fast engagement. Well, she pretty much nailed that one. And I don't know if everybody knows, but Matthew and Jenna were engaged in February, and here we are. So it's kind of like the whirlwind tour of the wedding preparations. A lot went on in those, I think, 8 months or so. A lot went on. So, Matthew, we have been so very, very proud to be your parents. You have brought us more joy than you will ever know. We really feel truly blessed by God, by the gift He has given us in you. Now, Casey kind of brought it up that we have a small family. And being a small family, we feel we're, you know, very, very close. So Cindy and I have often said, you know, we were kind of concerned that what happens when, you know, Ryan or Matthew meet someone? Is that really going to change the dynamics of our family? Are we really going to be that close? Well, with the addition of Raquel, this is Raquel, Ryan's wife, 4.5 years ago, almost 5. And now the addition of Jenna today, we feel really truly blessed, because now we feel even closer, but now we have the addition of 2 wonderful daughter-in-laws. So Matthew, I feel that, you know, you really couldn't have found a better soulmate in Jenna. If I was looking for a daughter and I didn't have any girls, so unfortunately I didn't have that opportunity, but I would look for somebody in Jenna. But at least I have now a wonderful daughter-in-law. So Jenna, we are truly blessed, pleased, happy to have you in our family. So I'd like to propose a toast, brought my glass of wine here, to Matthew and Jenna on a wonderful life together. May they have many years of happiness. And Jenna, welcome to our family.
All day to hold it together, so I should have known going after the fathers that it would all be for nothing. Everyone always ends on a sentimental note, so apologize in advance if I get emotional. But I'm Lauren Froelich. I met Jenna fall of my freshman year of college at the U of M, and it was a year later when we studied abroad in Spain that our friendship was really solidified, and then I was able to live with Jenna for 2 years. I thought when I made it through the Mass, I was like, whew. So everyone who knows Jenna knows that she has a zeal and an enthusiasm and an energy for life that is truly rare. I think Jenna's the only person I know who can do the Moose song in public in front of anyone. But not only that, Jenna loves everyone in her life with such a sincere and genuine heart. And when you're with Jenna, you can't help but feel valued and appreciated and loved for who you are, which is becoming so rare in the world that we're in today. And even when you meet Jenna for the first time, you immediately feel welcomed and cared for. And you can see the fruit of that in this room tonight. I mean, her friendships, her relationship with Matt. I'm just not going to look at Jenna. Her relationship with Matt, and especially also in her work at the U of M with St. Paul's Outreach. I've seen so many women drawn closer to the Lord through Jenna and how well she cares for them and loves them. And when I was reflecting on what I wanted to say tonight, really that love that Jenna gives everyone in her life is just her love for the Lord and her desire for holiness just overflowing to everyone around her. And you can't be helped but be impacted by it when you walk away, even if it's a 10-minute meet and greet at a lemonade stand at the U of M, you know? So it's just such a gift and such a blessing. And I'm sure everyone who's here who knows Jenna has their own story to share about how Jenna has loved them and cared for them and supported them throughout their life. So I'm also blessed to know Matt, the other half of the relationship. I had classes with Matt and served with him through the Newman Center and St. Paul's Outreach, and Matt is a wonderful man. But I can remember thinking way back when, just because Jenna has always been such an important person to me, thinking that, you know, I'm never going to approve of the man she's going to marry. Like, it's going to take me so long. You know, she just has been such an important person. But when she started dating Matt and things were going well and it looked like this was it, I remember thinking, there's nothing I can say. I can be nothing but so excited for them because of who they are and how well they complement each other and how well they love each other and love the people in their lives. And I'm not going to look at Jenna, but I couldn't have picked out or imagined a better man or husband for Jenna. So I'm just so thankful for them and just so excited to see all that the Lord does in their life and their family and who they are. So Jenna, it was such a privilege to stand behind you today. You're one of the greatest women I know. And I consider you not only a friend, but a sister. Okay, so... So let's raise our glasses to Matt and Jenna.
Well, I met Matthew 24 years ago in a hospital room in Sheboygan. I remember very little about that day, but recall that I was excited about a cupcake that my dad and I were able to share because of Matthew's birthday. It was a very good cupcake. What I also remember was being excited about having a new brother in my life, somebody to share my toys with and to have somebody to play with. That time in the hospital room with the cupcake and the new brother was actually my first memory growing up. Growing up with Matthew was always an adventure. We had a blast building forts, wrestling, collecting things such as coins, cards, and rocks. We began to share similar interests in sports such as basketball, tennis, the Packers, shared a similar humor, and even shared a fascination with things like Star Wars. The best thing about growing up with a brother like Matthew was that you always had your best friend around, somebody who was there and somebody you could count on. Growing up and being the older brother is interesting. Besides giving Matthew the opportunity to be the underdog in sports, or to be the construction foreman overseeing Matthew and sandcastle projects, I had the unique chance to watch Matthew grow up and experience the same things I had 3 years back. Indeed, growing up with Matthew yielded the Jahnke family many Matthew stories.
If I may, I was wondering if I could share a few of them with you this evening. Matthew's godparents, my Uncle Mike and Aunt Donna, always seem to have something new and exciting at their house. When Matthew was in elementary school, we went over and Mike showed us his brand new four-wheeler he had gotten. We had a great time hopping on the back of that with him as we traversed through the woods and around the woods surrounding his property. When we got back, Mike asked if we wanted to take a spin out on the level gravel road outside of his house, just a little bit, and try it out ourselves. Are you old enough? My mom asked. Of course, all the guys said. There's really nothing to it. All you need to do is keep it straight, right down the middle of the road, and there's nothing to it. Mike told Matthew, rather, that if he should feel the four-wheeler getting out of control, that he should jump off and not let it flip over on him. Well, nodding his head in acknowledgement, Matthew slowly took off away from us down the road. Not 50 yards down the road, Matthew goes from the middle and starts sliding towards the side of the road, which happened to have a large ditch and a kind of a gully. Remembering the advice given, Matthew jumped off the four-wheeler as it careened off the side of the road and landed in the ditch about 15 yards away. Nobody was seriously injured, the ATV was fine, but it made for a funny story growing up. It was a rare moment in life that Matthew ever let go of a challenge that came his way. By the way, Casey, did I hear that you let Matthew drive your stick-shift classic Corvette this year? When Matthew was in 5th grade, my parents... oh, there's a lot of stories now. When Matthew was in 5th grade, my parents were surprised to learn at parent-teacher conferences that their son was quite the entrepreneur. See, Matthew had gotten in collecting fancy pens and mechanical pencils. Gone were the days of sharpening number 2 pencils. These pencils could have nice writing lead and a fancy casing. Matthew's business plan was perfect. He would rent out at 25 cents per day his mechanical pencils to his fellow classmates. The demand was high. Everyone wanted to use one of Matthew's mechanical pencils, and the supply could be found at the right price, free from my parents. Matthew's business grew and grew to multiple pencil rentals per day, unfortunately ending after parent-teacher conferences. I knew at that point that Matthew would succeed in whatever business he chose. The kids in that 5th grade classroom may not have money to buy milk each day, but Matthew's ability to work with numbers would be an asset to him throughout his life. Those of us that know Matthew know that he is determined and quick in everything he does. Growing up, for example, and waking up, we'd hear a thump as his feet hit the ground, sound of water running, and it would seem like mere seconds later he'd be down at the counter eating breakfast. There's no kind of waking up and slowly getting in the day for Matthew. Calling home when I was in college and asking about near future college choices, Matthew casually gave me the answer, "Oh, Minnesota." Well, since this is the first time I was hearing about this, I began asking questions about other choices. Matthew's mind, though, had already settled on the best option that seemed to be the best fit for him. Last year in March, I spoke with Matthew on the phone. Normal conversation ensued about Minneapolis, Kansas City. Matthew casually slipped in that he had met a girl from SPO and was planning to go to coffee with her. I said, "That's great. When did you ask her?" In his still casual manner, he said that he hadn't, but was planning it. I said, "Matthew, 1, how do you know she'll go? And 2, how do you know if she goes that it just won't be as friends?" The answer I got was, "Oh, she'll know, and she'll know it just won't be as friends." I got off the phone and turned to Raquel and I said, "Well, I think Matthew's going to be dating somebody, and if I know Matthew, I would predict that this person is the one." It took only meeting Jenna for the first time to confirm this. A month later in St. Paul, at surprise, a coffee shop, we met a person we took an immediate liking to. Jenna was all smiles with a warm personality and a big heart. The short time over coffee passed in no time at all with easy conversation. We've had a great time getting to know Jenna the past year and a half. Shared some great holidays already together. Even had a chance to do some kayaking and camping. Kind of the inside joke with us Yankees is any spouse that enters our life has to be able to pass the camping test, and I can attest that he did. We really had a nice time. Working on homework, has given me the opportunity to hear about a couple different holidays. Did you know that August 7th was Friendship Day? No, it wasn't a holiday designed by us to sell more cards. It is actually a holiday set aside to honor those friends in your life and to celebrate those you care about and who care about you. I believe that a best friend is somebody who you can trust, somebody you could share life's experiences with, and somebody who can lift you up even on a day when things are not going so well. I think that if you can find somebody you love and who is a best friend, it's truly a treasure in life. It's evident just being around the both of you how much you do care about each other and how much you want to share in life's experiences together. Matthew, I'm very honored to be your best man and very proud to have you as my brother. And couldn't have been happier for you to find a wife like Jenna. Jenna, we couldn't be happier to welcome you to our family, and couldn't have been happier that you couldn't have picked a better person for Matthew. I've heard it say that the day of your wedding should be the day that you love each other the least. Although sounding odd, it's probably really true when you think about it. So let's join me in a toast to Matthew and Jenna. Let each day you live continue to be better than the last, and may your love and your experiences together grow with each passing year.
Very touching, all of you. I just want to take a moment to, first on behalf of Jenna, my wife, and I, thank you all so much for being part of this very special day for us. It means so much to be able to look out and see so many familiar faces and faces that have touched our lives, family, friends, relatives. It means truly so much. I know I speak for Jenna on this as well. I want to thank the bridal party, my groomsmen and bridesmaids. And again, I think a special honor to our parents. Casey and Joanne just celebrated their 35th wedding anniversary a little bit ago, and my parents have a little bit of catching up to do, but they're not far behind. So as we kind of embark on our marriage, it's certainly kind of an inspiration to look to the witness that you've been in our lives and what it means to have strong marriages. Lastly, Father mentioned very briefly in the homily that there's been a lot of weddings. It's been a blessing for Jen and I to be able to be a part of so many weddings, and I caught myself thinking, while being happy for the bride and groom at that particular wedding, when's it going to be mine? Like, just waiting and thinking so many times over and over this summer, like, I wonder how beautiful Jenna's going to be, or I wonder how many faces I know are going to be smiling and showing their support. And just to say, all this day has really blown away my expectations. Jenna looked more beautiful than I could have ever imagined, and the love and support that I saw in all of your faces when I was up looking out on the congregation was more than I could have ever expected. So I praise God for all of you and for the wonderful day that this has been and yet to be. So we're going to do kind of a 5-minute break before we have a slideshow coming up. And so there's cupcakes back there. We'll kind of give you all some time to enjoy some cupcakes, but then if we can reconvene for the slideshow and then dancing to follow.
Nope. I don't think I could do this all over again. I don't think I could do this all over again, right? I don't want to go back, but I'd like to be off for a little more.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
Might never be me. Might never be false or try to be false, but they wouldn't do. Oh, nobody else gave me a thrill with all your
One guy from the sun. That's right, you know. South Dakota, and then, you know, you wouldn't think that would happen, they couldn't operate on that one because she had somebody heart attack and somebody operated. Well, I mean, he didn't die from it, you know. Nobody did. I was just wondering. Yeah, I was just wondering how that was.
They were around your age?
Who?
And I guess your mother and dad were married like 5 years. Mother.
Yeah, we're married 35 or 37. Were they married 35 or 35? 35. 35? I think it was 35. Yeah, you figure like if they're... Well, how old is Ryan about? He was born in 78. How old are you? 24? Yeah, that could be about right. No, Matthew was 87, I thought. 87. And Ryan, how much younger is Ryan than Matthew? 3 or 4 years. 3 years.
I thought 3 years. Ryan was born in 84.
84? Well, then Tim and Cindy got to be married. 84? 27? Almost 30.
I didn't see anybody celebrating a 25th that I heard on. How many years are you married? What?
24.
24? How many? You're married 30?
44.
No, you're not.
Teresa's got 100 almost. 50 hers and 50 of mine. No, you look at it though, and then you figure her mother and dad, you only had her for 18 years or whatever, you know. And you're married like 50 years. That's a long time. whooping out.
Yeah, they're whooping out. They're by the...
You got a good one? Sucked them right in, right? Tell her, we got her on camera now.
Shoot her.
So glad you are a child of mine.
Put it in there.
All right.
Headline.